it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today is a bit of a sort of, well, it's part of my process I'm going to show you. So this is the prototype of the card that we are going to make. And it's using the gorgeous and ever so cute and ever so popular Party Pandas from Celebration. Now remember, Celebration finishes on Saturday the 31st of March. Which means it's the day before Easter, so the day after Good Friday, which in the UK is a bank holiday. And I have a sneaking suspicion people are going to use that to place orders. So if you want to get ahead of the rush, get your Celebration orders in sooner rather than later. Now, as I say, this is sort of my prototype. I'm perfectly happy with it, don't get me wrong. It's only half finished, but I thought we could do a bit of a Celebration special. So we're going to use the Party Pandas and we're going to use the lovely birthday paper, which is one of the items that has been added. Now, what's it actually called? Birthday Memories. It's one of the items that's been added to the third release. Now, I've got masses because I've got lots of birthdays coming up. So why wouldn't I stock up whilst I've got free product to get? So look at it. Isn't that just gorgeous? Perfect for the first page of a scrapbook. It's all double-sided as ever. It's cutesy. It's just divine. It doesn't have to be for birthdays. Obviously there is a birthday theme, but it's sort of celebratory. It's spring. It's just gorgeous. So, whilst it is free, why wouldn't you fill your basket with it? So, qualifying order, £45 before postage and packing, and for every £45 you spend, you get free product. And we now know we've got 3 releases of product. So we've got the original Party Pandas, then we had the second release in the middle of February, and now we've got the third release, which is all items from the current catalogues, from former promotions, which, although they aren't in the catalogue, are available. So there's the Colour Me Happy project kit, all that sort of stuff. So my slightly different version of this card is using some of the pattern paper. I have pre-done some of it because obviously it is only paper, and to do a shaker card with paper would not be a great idea. So I've actually already stuck this to a piece of Whisper White. This is ordinary Whisper White, it's not the thick. You could stick it on the thick Whisper White, but then I've die cut from the 2 bits combined, so I've stuck them together with a very, very thin layer of Tombow, the multi-purpose liquid glue, so that it was a very good coverage, and then just die cut with the layering circles, the second from largest circle, and then this is the reverse, and I'm going to have that as my back, and these are my standard sizes, measurements as ever on the associated blog post linked below. And then one of the colours in the pattern paper, and dare I say there are lots of colours in the pattern paper, is real red. So we're going to have a real red card base. So we are still going to have a Party Panda though. So let us start with him. And I very carefully put a piece of paper to one side. Well, say paper. It's not. It's Whisper White. So Memento ink pad, and I've got the panda with the party hat, because that then ties in with the party hats on the paper. So we're going to use him, ink him up. I could use basic black, but I haven't. And then just stamp him down, make sure you hold him there for a little bit of a while. And, oh, didn't ink that up properly, did I? Let's try that again. So, I think I might have a dent on my work surface. I'll try that again. Just give it a good huff just in case. And a proper stamp. That's better. Now, that said, the next thing we need to do is cut him out. And I don't think there's anything more boring than watching paint dry or people cutting things out, fussy cutting things out. So here's one I prepared earlier, as they say. Blue Peter Special. So this is going to get stuck here. I'm going to cover up this bit here, which just annoys me a little bit. So that's just going to go there. But before I do that, I am going to add a piece of window sheet behind my window, surprisingly. So I'm just going to run some fast fuse whilst it's still in stock. The refill is low inventory. As far as I am aware, and this is obviously at the point when I recorded this video, it was on low inventory. But as far as I am aware, the original, you know, including the handset, is still available. I'm not going to worry too much about that because it's going to be hidden, but I'll rub some of it off. We'll stick something over that. Anyway, just shows how filthy my hands are. Comes from a morning of crafting. But that's fine. It's at least now not fully sticky. So that's just stuck on with fast fuse. If fast fuse is gone, you can use the multi-purpose glue. You can use snail. You can use tear and tape. Any is fine. This with the holder is not currently low inventory. So if you can't get the refill by the time this goes to air, you should hopefully still be able to get the original. Right, okay, so I'm going to grab some of our sticky strips. Now, it's going to go on this way up. For me, I like to have the gap at the top because that way, particularly if you're going to use glitter, which I'm not, but if you're going to use glitter, if you've got the gap at the top, then if there is a little bit of a gap between the two ends, you're less likely to lose the infill. So if you put it at the top, and I'm actually going to need another teeny weeny bit, which is fine because I'm going to need more than another teeny weeny bit. Now, the moment you start using this rather than dimensionals, you are going in the UK from an ordinary letter to a large letter. Just to say. So this is either one for hand delivery or just accept that you're going to have to use a large letter stamp. I'm just going to cut a teeny weeny bit there and just force it into that gap because then it's a nice tight fit. And then just, oops, stick some extra bits because we're going to need support top, bottom and middle, because otherwise it's going to be flapping around in the breeze, which is not a good look. So the other things I did whilst I was fussy cutting this is also colour in his hat, and I've gone for Pacific Point and Real Red because those are the two dominant colours that I'm using on this card. So that's why I've used those. And I use the Stampin' Up markers, which for this is obviously the Brights collection, for Pacific Point and Real Red, just so you know. Right, so that's that. Now the other thing that I tend to do, I've got this little pot, it was white embossing powder. I've actually got some corn flour in here, and I use this just a little bit just to run round the edge of my window so that if there's any stickiness on that edge of that strip, it just helps to kill it. It won't take it all away, but it does just help to kill it. You can use your embossing buddy. The only problem I have with using the embossing buddy is that it can scratch the window sheet. So I don't. I use corn flour. Right, okay, just wipe the excess cornflour out of there. Right, now if you're going to do any stamping on your front, so if you were to go for the plain version like this, do the stamping before you put the whole thing together, and certainly before you stick the strip on the back. Otherwise you get these things happening. Learn from my mistakes. Right, okay, let's do a bit of sticking everything together. I'm just going to grab some snail to stick my designer series paper mat to my cardstock. Of course it would be a classic idea if I folded my card before I did that. And this is a standard A6 card base, so it's a piece of A4 card cut in half and scored down the middle. And as I say, all the dimensions will be on the associated blog post, which is linked immediately below in the description of this video. So, right, okay. Now, that's then going to go there. This is where you need to just envisage where you're going, because it is incredibly easy to just pour your bits onto the space. If you do it that way, lining up is a nightmare. But if you do it, if you know where you're aiming, then it's significantly easier. Now what you can do is you can actually get out your die and kind of put it all together, roughly all together. This is easier if you do this actually before you put everything, stick everything together. So again, learn from my mistakes. Okay, so we're going slightly down from there. So what I'm just going to do is very gently just draw around the outside of my die, because my die is, the outside of my die is bigger than the cut space. So I can see where that circle is, but when I stick this on, that pencil line is going to be covered up. Now I am using, sorry those of you that don't like sequins with holes in the middle, I apologise. Now, I am using both the iridescent, the metallics sequins assortment from the annual catalogue, and also the gold glitter flakes from the spring summer. So it's a real combination. I've got them already put together here, because particularly the gold flakes do have a bit of a life of their own. And I could envisage the whole lot just pouring out. So I'm just pouring all of that into, whoops, and even having done this, I've got it going everywhere. Pour this into the middle of my circle. I would suggest that when you do this, you don't fold it into a little envelope like I have, because that's actually what causes the problems, because you then put ridges in the way, which means that things are going to fly off at interesting angles. And of course it's now sticking to me. Right, okay, we'll ignore those two bits. Right, okay, so everything is nicely in the middle. Don't need that piece of paper anymore. And I know I haven't stuck my Panda on yet. I'm now just going to take off the strips from my tape. I am going to take the strips off from my tape, preferably without taking the strips off the piece of card. Now, if you are worried about this being fatter than not large letter in the UK, then you could actually use the edge of dimensionals and run those round the edge of your window, just so you know, but that is a bit fiddly, and particularly a bit fiddly to do on camera. If this isn't fiddly enough, that certainly is. Right, that's the easy one. Okay, moment of truth time. So, dun dun dun. Yep, pretty happy with that. Press it all down, and there we've got our shaky bit. Now the flakes do stick to the back of your window sheet. It's just the way they are. But I do like the fact that we've got different shapes, different sizes, different colours. So now that I know where everything is sitting, so I'm going to pop that there, I can pop my little panda on. And all I'm going to do is grab some multi-purpose glue, not a huge amount. I mean, you could just accept that now this is large letter, you could put him on dimensionals. But I think there are limits to how fat your card can be. I think we might have reached it. And then just pop him there. Now obviously he's got to dry. I'm going to help that. So that is that. Now insert, because real red is not the easiest thing to write on. So I've got the happy birthday stamp, also from the Party Panda, because we've got happy birthday, hi and love you. And then I'm just going to grab some real red ink and stamp that in the middle. Now I always try to do the stamping on my insert before I stick my insert in the card. It's not completely straight, but it's fine. Just in case, had I had the stamp the other way up, it would have come out that way up, and it really wouldn't have mattered unless it was already stuck in the card, in which case it would have been slightly important. But it's not, so that's fine. So that can go, I'm just going to leave that to dry. I'm just going to grab, now here's the thing. Do you remember the narrow real red ribbon that we had in the autumn winter catalogue? It's still with us, it carried over. So I thought I would see if I could do a double bow using this, because I think that would look quite cute. So all I've done is folded it in half. I've just got a length, folded in half. Now you could cut those two bits off, but hey, I won't. And then just tie them, 2 loops, my little bunny ears, tie them in a half knot, and then you can adjust. And one of the reasons that I don't cut my ends off is that I can then keep as much ribbon on my reel as I need. I think that's super cute. A pair of snips, and then just keeping those reasonably the same length. And then separate those 2 loops just a wee bit to make a double bow. So just because you've got narrow ribbon, don't think you have to have a narrow bow, because you can actually go to town with lots of lengths of it. And I'm going to just pop him there, I think. So I just need a glue dot. Grab that, one roll of glue dots. This is coming to an end. Pop my glue dot on the back of my ribbon and just pop it. Actually, it's a bit large, my glue dot. It's a mini glue dot, but it's a very mini bow. There we are, folded it in half. There we go. And because it's real red, it matches. Don't we love all our colours that match? Right. Bit of snail on the back of this, and then we're done. So don't forget to jump over to my store and order all the stuff you need for your final celebration orders. If you use the Hostess Code, you get to share in the Hostess Rewards, which is always free product from me. If you don't already subscribe to my channel, please do. There's a little button in the bottom right hand corner of the screen for you to do that. If you don't already subscribe to my mailing list, please do sign up to that. And if you're in the UK, if you do that before the end of March and you are not a demonstrator and you're over 18, I'll take your word that you're over 18, then I'm going to do a draw at the beginning of April for a craft kit. So yeah, why not sign up to my mailing list? Because you could get free stuff. Yay, free stuff. So what else? I think that's about it. as I say, jump over to my online store, order everything you need. If you've got a very large order, frankly, the starter kit is the way to go, because not only do you get £130 of products of your own choice, you also get, until the end of Celebration, 2 stamp sets from either the spring, summer or the annual catalogue. So that's full price stamp sets, but you get them for free. So that could mean that for, instead of £130 worth of product, you get £200 thereabouts. That's all included within the £99 starter kit price. So you could get double your money, free shipping, and then you get 20% off any future orders whilst you stay active. So what's not to love? Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!